Hey guys, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Welcome back to my channel. So here I am back with a slightly different inking video. I was approached by Hara, who actually works for a shelter in Kansas, and she approached me for something to do on Thursday, October 19th, which is actually Purple Thursday, and it is for the awareness of domestic violence. So to take part in this, I will be doing a purple exploration, taking all of the purple inks that I have, and I'll be using the hashtag Inked Awareness DVAM 2023. If you guys want to join in this, whether it's inking up all of your purple pens, showing off all of your purple pens, your purple inks, that would be fantastic. So it's kind of like when Sarah of Ginger Peachy Pens did her Pride Awareness with all of her purple or her rainbow inks and her rainbow pens. This is just a different way of showing awareness using all of the purple inks or pens. And Hara herself, I know she's going to ink a different pen and go all out purple. I know some people are doing just currently inked with just purple pens and purple ink. So take this as you will. And maybe this could be something that, you know, for different I guess events and awareness throughout the year, then we do different colors and things like that. All right, so I have quite a few purple ink samples and really only four bottles of purple ink that I'm going to swatch for you all today. All of these you have probably already seen on my channel, but I just wanted to do something fun for the inked awareness and show off all of the purple all on one page. So what I'll be using is my B6 Galen leather notebook with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. I have this ink sample holder here from Fountain Pendulum, and I will link her in the description below. I also have this gorgeous nib holder, which is also purple, from River City Penco, and it has my Kakimori brass nib there. And then I have my pipette, 2 jars of water, and then my sample ink vial for swirling. So let's get started. The first ink is Birmingham Penco Milkweed. And before I even get into that, I just want to say how surprised I am at how many purple inks I have. There's lots. There's enough to fit them very tightly into these 2 pages. So I've taken a little drop with my pipette and then swirled it with the sample ink vial, and then using my River City Penco dip pen with the Kakimori brass nib. I love this process for swatching because the circle with the sample ink vial allows you to see all of those different properties, and then with the Kakimori brass dip pen you can try out different widths like I'm doing here to see the way that this ink would be, you know, maybe in a really big stub, in a fine nib, etc. The next one is Colorverse Pillars of Creation, and this was a bottle given to me quite a while ago. It's not an ink that I normally go for because this one has such high sheen, but I mean, for example, Birmingham Penco Milkweed, I love that color. I love that kind of light mauvey purple that's still legible but not too dark that you can't tell it's purple. Whereas this one, Pillars of Creation, it's such a dark purple, but then it has this green sheen, which unfortunately didn't show up too much on the Tomoe River paper. But again, sheen for me, I can take it in small doses. If a sheen is like bright red and glaring at me, you know, with the reflection of the light, it makes it very hard for me to use and to write with. This one, the sheen actually isn't too bad. I do like the color of it, and I think I'm going to try and use this for 30 inks 30 days in November. Yes, I will be doing 30 inks 30 days in November. The next one is Diamine Tyrion Purple, and this is actually one of my favorites because it doesn't look like your regular purple. It's a very warm toned purple. And this is the thing, and I'm going to mention this at the end again. I love purple because there's so many different tones, so many different shades. They don't look the same. Once you look at all the purples that I have on the page, they're not going to look the same. So this is a very warm toned purple. Almost looks like it's leaning a bit towards the red or the pink or the burgundy, but once it dries, it is actually a beautiful purple color. And I like this one. This has great flow. Diamine inks are always a safe bet if you are looking for any inks. And again, I had to buy a small bottle. I loved it. The next one is Diamine Lilac Night, and I've had this sample for quite a while, but I've never used it, and I really think that I need to actually get this out and use this properly. And just placing a dot there on the Tomoe River paper and then swirling it around. Again, like I said, my favorite process for swatching. From this angle, it looks like a blurple, like a dark bluey purple. And when it dries, it is that darker, cooler toned purple, but it's really pretty. Thing is, if you're going to use it in a fine nib or an extra fine nib, it looks really dark, almost grayish black purple. But in a broader nib, like a stub, you can really get the lighter purple in this ink. So really excited to try this one. The next ink is Diamine Ink Vent Memory Lane, and this is a shimmer ink, so I've got to shake it up and make sure I get all of those shimmer particles in there. And then I'm going to make sure to get a good sample of shimmer into that drop. Honestly, I love this ink. I love this kind of a light purple mauve with that silver shimmer. It's gorgeous. And then I'm debating whether I'm going to use this for 30 inks 30 days or in December. But this is such a gorgeous light ink and a really nice purple. And I mean, in terms of the shimmer, it seems to distribute itself really well, but it doesn't seem to detract from the actual purple. So a really, really good option here if you like this purple but want a little bit of shimmer. The next one is Ferris Wheel Press Queen Allium. And this purple almost looks like Birmingham Pen Co. Milkweed, but with a gold shimmer. I used this, when did I use this? I think I used it last month, yes, in my 5-year journal with my Atelier Lusso pen, and I loved it. This is the thing I like actually about the Ferris Wheel Press shimmer inks, is that I haven't had any trouble with them clogging my pens. Yes, I do kind of have to agitate the pen before I start writing with it, but I haven't had any clogging issues with it. And it is such a pretty purple, and that gold shimmer just adds, oh, chef's kiss to that one. Really, really great purple. The next one is Herbon Puser de Lune, and this was one of the first bottles of inks that I got, and this is almost in the same tone as Diamine Tyrion Purple, but on the cooler side. Again, I feel like I'm not the expert when it comes to differentiating between different colors and even different shades of purple, but hopefully, you know, take my words with a grain of salt. I like purple. I like all different shades of purple, and this whole video is meant to highlight that. But this is Herbon Puser de Lune. It's actually a great flowing ink. Normally Herbon inks can be quite dry, but this one actually has great flow, really lovely shading, and I definitely need to put this in a pen again sometime soon. Herbon Puser de Lune. Next, we have Jin Hao Purple, and this is a very recent addition to my ink samples. One of the things that I've noticed with this is that it is a very, very wet ink. And, you know, it didn't actually bleed through the Tomoe River paper, but there was a little bit of shadowing. And when I was writing with it with the Kakamori Brass Dip pen, it was very thick. And I couldn't get enough ink off the nib in order to get it to write more finely. This is the trouble that I have with this particular ink, is that if it's so wet, what pen can I use this in? You know, I probably have I have extra fine nibs, and I have some nibs that are a little drier, so it might work better in a pen like that. But this is a nice punchy purple. I like it. The next one is Monteverde Birthday Cake, and this one was given to me by Miss Marilyn Darling, and I still have it in my collection because I think it is a beautiful purple, more of a cooler toned purple. I feel like more of a normal purple, if I can say that, but then it's also leaning towards like the darker kind of grayish purple. Gosh, I can add so many adjectives in here. It's like wine tasting. It's crisp, it's dry. You know, for purple, it's cool, it's warm, it's kind of gray, it's kind of blurple. But honestly, this one has a really lovely tone to it, and the shading in it is really nice as well. What I like about this particular ink is that it did flow really well when I used it in my pen, and I think if you are looking for, you know, just I say basic purple that is still good for writing professionally, this is a great one. Monteverde Birthday Cake. Next is Pilot R Ro Shizuku Murasaki Shikibu, and this one, I don't have a bottle of this, and I'm still debating whether or not I should buy a bottle of this. Even just a small Pilot R Ro Shizuku bottle, like those 15 ml ones, I'm still debating whether I should buy one or not, because this purple is beautiful, and it's one of those that I've had a hard time trying to find a purple similar to this. And I'm not sure what it is about this particular purple. I feel like it's just the right tone of both the red and the blue to make this ink. Now, this ink felt so wet coming off of my Kakimori Brass Dip pen, but I have used it in everyday life. Of course, it's everyday life. Yes, I have used it in a pen before, and it didn't seem to write that wet, but maybe it's just the brass dip pen that made it seem to come off the pen or the brass nib in this way. But again, another beautiful, gorgeous purple. Next purple is Sailor Shikiori Hara, and I have to just say that I'm pretty proud of myself for not buying this whole collection when it first came out. I just stuck to the one that I really wanted to try, and I'm so glad I did try this. It is a darker purple. I feel like it's along the same tones, well, same darkness level as Diamine Tyrion purple, but a bit cooler. And the shading on this is absolutely gorgeous. And then you'll see actually, you know, in the circle swatch, there ends up being a little bit of like a pool, and when it pools, it's dark and almost brown, black. But I really like this ink because it's a great one for shading, but also the flow is really good, great in my medium fines and my sailors. The next one is Sailor Shikiori Yozakura. Now, sometimes this ink looks pink, other times it looks purple. So I wanted to include this because I felt like it could be purple. I don't know. Like, let me know what you guys think, because well, okay, now that I'm looking at it as I'm doing this voiceover, it does look purple, and it's more of like a mauve tone. But in some instances, it can look a little bit pink, but I really like this. I feel like I could classify it as pink or purple either way. But this one of the things is I've had this ink for maybe 1.5 years, almost 2 years, and the ink itself has a little bit of a weird smell coming from the bottle, but there's no mold or anything. It just smells a little stinky. Has anybody ever got that? I don't know, but it's still a really pretty color. The next one is Tachia Murasaki. Now, somebody told me, and I can't remember who it was, that Murasaki is meant for purple, or it means purple, and any ink that has that in the name should be some form of purple. In this, as I'm looking at the voiceover, it looks brown. This is more of like a dusty pinky color, but actually when you compare it to the other colors that are in here, it's more leaning towards the red. It's more red toned than Diamine Tyrion purple. And I can see where the like the Murasaki comes from, but as I'm looking at it through the camera and through the video, it does look more brown than pink or purple, but it does dry to a really pretty color. So I included this because of the Murasaki, but whether it is purple, who knows. So next is Teranishi Innocent Mauve. And I bought this 1 ml sample from St. Louis art store, St. Louis Art Center or something. And I really like, again, this purple. I feel like this is almost in the same tone as Sailor Shikiori Hara, but a little bit more cooler. So I'm always having a hard time describing all of these purples. But again, this is another great one. You don't have to own all of these purples, but this is me showing you all the ones that are out there. This is not all the ones that are out there. These are the ones that I've tried. And again, the great thing is there's so many tones, there's so many different colors within the color family of purple itself. You'll never go wrong. The next one, you can't really read this, but this is Van Diemen's May. This was a sample sent to me by Shazia of Bleskit Canada, and I believe this was an exclusive, so this isn't really being sold anymore, so I am so sorry, but this is a lovely dark purple with a little bit of a green sheen and gold shimmer. It is stunning, and I want to try and use this in every pen right now because it is such a beautiful color. The sheen isn't too overpowering, and that shimmer adds just enough to the purple to make it shine. So Van Diemen's May, oh, such a pretty color, but I am sorry that don't think it's available anymore. And then last but not least, Wearingeul Jane Eyre. And I feel like the name of this particular ink really matches the tone of this ink because it's very light purple. Almost, I can't tell which is lighter, between Birmingham Penco Milkweed and Queen Allium. Which one is the lighter one? So is it Jane Eyre or is it Queen Allium? But I think this one, once it dries, will probably be the lighter of those three. And I have used this in a pen before and it is absolutely stunning. No flow issues whatsoever. For some people it might be a bit too light, but I really enjoyed Wearingeul Jane Eyre. And then you can see how it shades beautifully in the different widths there. Beautiful. So there are all 16 purple inks, and gosh, I love ink swatching. It's just so meditative and I love doing it. And I mean, I got a little bit messy. But yes, if you would like to join in on this tag, the Inked Awareness DVAM 2023, you can do so with your purple pens, your purple inks, or if you have your favorite purple pens and purple inks, please let me know down in the comments below. Which do you think is my favorite out of all of these, if I haven't already said so in the voiceover? And I'm just looking at the collection, and the thing is with purple, it's so different. This is what I love about purple, is that there's so many different shades and tones, and warm or cool and light and dark, and purple is just an amazing color with so many variations. So I'm really excited that I did this, and I need to ink up more purple going forward. All right, but that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to Kara for approaching me with this. I think it's such a great way to highlight different causes and things like that. So if you would like to join in as well, make sure you use the hashtag Inked Awareness DVAM 2023. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and have yourselves a great day.